Session hijacking is just a much more sophisticated version of this. And this will bypass those initial preventative measures. And we're seeing droves of this happening now, much more prevalent than credential theft, because generally we are seeing more and more people and more organizations implement an MFA policy and other conditional access measures. But session hijacking is simply where no matter if you have MFA or conditional access, an attacker uses a specific mechanism to bypass those. It starts with a successful phishing attack. Ultimately, they dupe a user into accessing a legitimate Microsoft login page via an evil proxy server. And so there will be a legitimate sign-in attempt, but there will be an attacker in the middle looking at that sign-in attempt, looking at the credentials that you provide, stealing those. You will authenticate the multi-factor authentication. That will go through the proxy server as well, and the attacker will have that. But more importantly, once that sign-in is successful, the attacker can then steal the session token that is created. When you sign into 365, typically there'll be a session in place, and when you log in again a few minutes later, you won't need to go through the sign-in process because the cookies and the session is remembered. And ultimately, if an attacker has that session token, they've got your credentials anyway because they've stolen it, but they can bypass all the measures. They've got access to the session token. They plug that into their browser, and they've got free reign and access to your environment, which is completely unfiltered. They can then carry out attacks such as business email compromise. They can set up, malicious forwarding rules for any emails that may come in with the subject line including invoicing or bank transfer. Move that into a conversation history folder away from your view, be in your environment at the same time, and having a conversation with one of your customers or an employee, and have that conversation and dupe them into transferring money into a different bank account, their bank account, exploiting the data that is shared in between that and stealing that and passing that on. So this is a very big one that is used to get that initial access, and something we need to combat very prevalently.